Welcome back to another thought-provoking episode of the So What, the podcast where we don't argue over politics, we argue over patterns, yeah. I'm your host, The Answer, and today we're diving into the complex, controversial, and deeply strategic world of modern trade. Because we're not just in a new chapter, we're in a brave new world. A world where global supply chains aren't just fragile, they're geopolitical assets. Where trade isn't just about economics, it's about identity, sovereignty, and survival. And where the right policies, if crafted with care, can secure our place at the table for decades to come. So in today's episode we're asking, what if tariffs aren't the enemy Reagan feared, but the tool the future demands? In the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan warned us about tariffs. He spoke passionately against them, not just as bad economics but as a threat to innovation, to competition, and to global stability. His warning was sharp. Tariffs may feel patriotic, he said, but they ultimately create complacent industries, global retaliation, and shrink the very markets we depend on. And to be clear, Reagan wasn't wrong about what happened in the 1930s. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act led to a massive collapse in global trade, a protectionist spiral that turned a recession into a global catastrophe. And Reagan, having lived through the Great Depression, carried that scar with him. But here's the question we need to ask in 2025. Are today's threats the same as yesterday's? And if not, should we still be using yesterday's answers? Fast forward to today. We're not facing the same risks our grandparents did. We're not in a gold-backed industrial economy. We're in a digitally driven, globally interdependent post-pandemic system. The global trade map has changed. Tariffs today are no longer sledgehammers. They're scalpels, used to protect specific sectors like AI, semiconductors, medicine, and energy. Globalization is no longer about efficiency. It's about resilience. And our greatest vulnerability isn't competition, it's dependency. Check one. Let's be blunt. When one nation supplies 90% of your rare earth minerals, or when your medical supply chain is 10,000 miles away during a crisis, you're not just outsourcing manufacturing, you're outsourcing sovereignty. President Reagan feared that tariffs would make American companies lazy. And historically he was right. Some did stop innovating when artificially shielded. But what if we flipped the script? What if tariffs were tied to performance goals, like a grant or investment? Set time limits, tie them to automation upgrades. Use them as launch pads, not life rafts. That's not sheltering weakness. That's strategic incubation. The goal isn't to wall off America. It's to protect our ability to compete fairly, in a world where other nations are already doing the same thing, just under different names. Let's not forget, the EU uses carbon border adjustments. China provides state subsidies and mandatory tech partnerships. India enforces data sovereignty and digital import restrictions. So let's not pretend we're playing a friendly pickup game. This is chess, and it's being played on a nuclear board. Another Reagan-era concern was retaliation, that high tariffs would spark global trade wars. But in 2025, retaliation doesn't always come with loud headlines, it comes with strategic silence. Countries weigh their options more carefully now because the world is economically entangled. China needs US consumers, the EU needs US innovation, Africa needs infrastructure partnerships, the world still needs the US dollar. So yes, pushback still exists, but it's no longer the shock and collapse threat it once was. Now it's about leverage management, it's about who blinks first, and it's about having the courage to use tools, not recklessly, but intelligently. So let's come down from the clouds. What's the so what? The real question isn't are tariffs bad or good, it's are they being used with clarity, coordination, and a strategy to win? Because here's the truth, tariffs without a goal, dangerous. Tariffs as a PR move, hollow. Tariffs as part of a phased economic growth model, Now you're talking nation building. That's how we avoid the mistakes of the past, while still defending the future. Reagan warned us about the past, let's respect that. But let's also remember the future never comes with instructions. It comes with challenge. It comes with complexity. It comes with choice. We can either remain scared of repeating history, or we can use history to shape smarter tools. We don't need to close the doors to the world, we just need to make sure our own house has locks, policies, and priorities. And that, my friends, is not protectionism, that's adulthood, in economics. This isn't about Republican or Democrat, this isn't about nationalism or globalism, it's about economic sovereignty in a volatile century. And if we want to keep calling ourselves a great nation, we need to stop trying to win yesterday's game. We need to play this one with wisdom, courage, and strategy. Thanks for tuning in to the So What. If this resonated, subscribe. If it challenged your thinking, share it. And if it pissed you off a little, good. That means you're paying attention. Until next time. Remember, the truth has no party, only perspective, and the so what.